of air quality, correct? So Marcelina, are you coming here? Just join us. Okay, so last meeting we studied about the assessment of air quality and how air quality is important, and then how you should incorporate and make sure that if you design a project or you are doing a project, you should incorporate and take it into account the air quality of of a of the environment that you work on, right? So today we are going to talk about biodiversity. Okay. Now, have you heard of the word biodiversity before? And what is biodiversity? Has anybody?
Biodiversity came from two words. Is it the bio and diversity? Bio is like buat Morris away, and diversity buat Morris, and diversity is like every buat hututu buat sila.
Okay. So bio means living things, living organisms, anything that lives. That's meaning bio, the word bio. Diversity simply means different, various, barbaric, oy. That's what it means. So biodiversity, all different living things. Okay. So basically the definition of biodiversity is this. Alianza, can you read the first paragraph for us? Read it out.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What is biodiversity?
Okay.
Biodiversity refers to the variety of living organisms on Earth and their
Organism. Repeat. Leninate
organism
organism.
on Earth and their interaction between them. This includes the diversity of species, ecosystems, and genetic variation within a species.
Okay, Armandino, continue. Armandino Name, you continue the next paragraph.
Biodiversity is important because it provides numerous benefits to humans. Services like pollination and water maintain
Okay, Aurelian Koto. Okay, troca. Augusta, read paragraph number 2.
Biodiversity is important because it provides numerous benefits to humans. Just a food, medicine, and ecosystem service life, pollination, and water filtration. It also plays a crucial role in maintaining the balance and resilience of ecosystems, with it to support the sustainability of human life.
Okay, Mario, continue. Paragraph 3.
However, biodiversity is currently threatened by the various human activities, including habitat destructions, pollution, and climate change. Conservation efforts are needed to protect and restore biodiversity and ensure that continued provision of the benefits to the both human and the planet as a whole.
Thank you. So biodiversity it refers to various living organisms that lives on Earth. Meaning, buat hotu saida maka moris, iha terra, planeta itania nene, iha ser saida, iha ema animal ho aioris. Iha species baraklos, itania flora, species flora and fauna ni species ni oi ni tiha planeta ne. Ida ne mapulana biodiversity ne dihang maksud ne dane. Species oi, iha ekosistema ne bela hanesang. Okay? Agora biodiversity ne tama saida ma biodiversity ni importante, biodiversity ni importante para humano. Tama biodiversity fornece hahang, for medicina ay muruk, bagay mi hemo ay muruk certo ita foti bot toto na bita ujar lor na may hotu may usi natureza, may usi biodiversidade. Okay, including most water filtration, ya, be most, babay mi be, imi babay imi ba ke, imi Sema biasa ya seni munisipyo ni Bakurubey hamota. Sira ketia rai hamota ida Makurubey dan ne bauza. Sema pernah ida ne. Enggak, imi tota gora liga torneo bamutron.
Lai udah bemota sih.
Beposo.
Balu beposo. Ida ne kan. Ida ne mos ekosistema ida biodiversidade ida. No ita karak preserva na fating. Biodiversidade ka ekosistema serane. Tamirane ma biodiversidade ne importante. Nebe, agora imi hateno na konaba iha. Ema, imi hatene buat barak konaba ema lo segala spesies ema ni imi hatene hela. Ema metang, ema muting, ema brown, okay? Ema australiano ne winsa, ema europeo ne winsa, ema africano ne winsa, ema Asia ne winsa, ema Sina ne winsa, ni imi hatene lo segala. Nebe, iha be animal seremos ni there are basically 6 basic animal groups of animals, okay? Ida fali mit bolnar invertebrates. Invertebrates ne animal ke kuan sira ne bian se mi hari example ne kar kita be kun ke kuan sira be mi ladung hare for example da kala mak lakang de ta hawa ten nalan te tung saida. I don't even know if it's the English is. And you know fish, right? E depois amphibians. Amphibians ne mana sambe saida. Ai hare ya na bane frog. Ida ne te tung saida ida metang ne.
Teki.
Teki.
Teki ho be manduku. Sada manduku ka?
Manduku
Yes.
sir.
Teki ho manduku. Dasa ne klasifika ba iha amphibians. Serne bolnara amphibians. Agora hanesan reptiles ne masamia, gurita serne, lafaik serne amphibians, okay? Depois ihamos birds, e depois iha mammals. Mammals ne manesan busa ho laho serne. Okay, ida ne san grupo be grupo 6 basic animal groups. Sila ne. Okay. Agora sa imi hare ihane, slide ida nene, this shows a comparison between the extinction rate before and after 1900, 1900. Dati ida nene haturu the extinction rate, highlighting the increase of species loss in a recent history. Extinction rates ne measured in extinction per million species per year. Okay, ne maksudnya extinction ne katak animal sila nabe lakun tena, mati hodut tena. Sa imi hare data ne. Sa imi hare ihabe background rate ni niyan ihabe saida ya background rate nene ida are ida nene sebelum 1900 pre 1900, okay? Imi hare historically species extinction was relatively rare, katak jarang acontece, with an expected rate of 0.1 extinction per million species year. Idane maksudnya sada, idane katak this means that if there were 1 million species on Earth, sekarik iha terra ne iha species to 1 species ida ded maka lakong iha tinang milyang ida. Ne sebelum 1900 gitu. Okay? Maybe setelah ida nene, ninya numero na sai makaslos. Okay? Now, post 1900, post 1900, di mahari iha nene, the graph shows that the rate of extinctions has dramatically increased in the 20th century. Yeah, the 20th century, husi 1900. Sa 1900 may leteng nene, idanemos iha era ida nebe itani industrial revolução industrial mas começa lá. É mahu inventa careta, é mahu inventa na eletricidade, é mahu inventa na motor, steam engines, machine bobo chane, hahu inventa ne iha be post 1990s ne, ita bol naran industrial revolutions ne. Okay, nebe imihare hane kan post nini extinction rate is 1000 times higher ya, 1000 kali lebih besar. You see? No, tuh di mana Hanoi tambah saya nama akselerasi extinction salah lagi tambah saya tambah akselerasi related to atividade humano nia. Semakin atividade humano makas, the more human activities increases, the more economic demands increases, the more we destroy the habitat. Okay, the habitat destruction is people cut trees, people explore minerals, ferrafoho, PCI arbiro, pokoknya layar respeto liu ambiente, tove toya point toya 2000 tahun 2000 ke 99 mai lete ma point hak fora kata oi. Ita ni atividade ne estraga ita ne environmento. Então ita tem que tahu vali iha, ita tem que criar be ia 2000 hira mane 2007 2008 ida mane ma Nações Unidas create ia be Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. Agora semana quanto kau sudah telefon sustainable vai imi lah ia mai ma semana lah segunda. Kau sudah telefon sustainable mas lah ia mai bela hatang los pastolos. That's sustainable development goals. Okay, so these are all the problems that we have. For example, say imi hari have birds in extinction rates from sai husibe 51 species ni sai to 132 species extinction rate. Imi bahira imi kuliah extinction ni kata imi extinction ni asane. Agora dadak ni imi pernah rona be dinosaurs to, dinosaurs ni pernah rona to.
Yes, itu pernah.
Tapi agora dinosaurs lah ya imi ida mahare. Tambah cer mate hotu tena jane mulan extinction ne. Nebe imi hare bazeba dados susibe world data nene kata kita ni extinction rate ne sae bebek. Iha species manusia, iha mammals, iha amphibians ni mana sae bebek. Oleh amphibians ni masa makas, oleh amphibians ni mana sampai sernene teki sera obe kan sernene sama makas. Agora hus fale baine. Dalam rumah imi diang imi lasi guys buat animal mamate toke buat teki mamate buat ne buat kadi buat mate be. Turi mini hanoi immediate mak iha dereto atau mori share mundu ne, ga share lai dereto ga. Losta share mas iha hotu be ekosistema ida ne larang. Si animal lah iha hotu hampat sera. Por exemplo, animal lah iha sema, por exemplo, carau fari lah iha fari, sema tudo halai ne nata. So, também nema ite ne ekosistema ne tem que balanço. No, hanesang ema engenharia, ema cientista, ema arquitetura ida. Imi tem que tahu ida ne ihe mininia design, tahu ida ne ihim ne praktika profesional. Nah, ida ne bulan ethic of conduct. Okay? E depois Tirfali mai iha nene hatudu konaba. This is indicating the global planet living index. Okay? Global Planet Living Index measures the average change in the population size of thousands of vertebrate species, mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fish over time. Okay? It provides an indicator of the overall health of global biodiversity by tracking trends in wildlife population across terrestrial, freshwater, and marine ecosystem. Okay? Agora, husi graph ida nene, imi hare katak. The index uses about husi 1970 as a baseline. Ne katak value satu ya. Ne mak satu ne. Agora, meaning that any changes are measured relative to that year. So kare share uja 1970 ne ma 1970 ma nesan baseline. Katak ia mudança rumah nebe acontece nene share uji da ne ma kanesan standard ka baseline ida. Okay? Sekarang ini hari, the graph indicates that there has been about 60% decline in global wildlife population between 1970 to 2014. Entre ihane 1970 to 2014 nene wildlife Ihoris ihabe alaran sa mate nene almost 60% decline in terms of number from 1970 to 2014. Okay, so the black line, this black line represents the average change in population size. Okay, of, for example, from 4,005 vertebrate species, while the shaded area around them represents 95% confidence interval, yeah? Ito ne kole statistics valiona. Okay? Nebe tipes decline ne ma ida nini decline ida paling makas limo hari uji 1970 up to 2000 ne tu makas los ya. Ni tu makas lima kaya between 1970 to 2 ni mas tu na fating mebe ita começa iha awareness ona desenvolve ona be hanesa sustainable development goals ona ita hu tau ona be implementa na policy sira ne be protect environment ne be hari ni ne tung la makas ona ya. By 2024, the index value is around 0.4 2014, sorry, suggesting that the population has dropped by more than half since 1970. Okay, what does that mean? Maksudnya saya mah kita beli, what does that mean that we have 60% decline in wildlife? Okay, 60% decline in wildlife population over this period is a stark indicator of the biodiversity crisis. Biodiversity ida. Okay, the loss of biodiversity has far-reaching implications for ecosystem, human livelihood, and global environmental health. Okay, so the global planet living index serves as a powerful reminder, Ida, of the urgent needs to address the drivers, the biodiversity loss, such as habitat destruction over exploitation. Kata ita exploit ni terlalu dia, ita food barak terlalu dia. No, ihamos climate change. Okay, so this is concerning, yeah, this is a problem. Okay, comprende kala? Ya pergunta sama?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if you look at this, for example, indigenous people, ema indigenous iramos babay afeta makaso si quando itala ihe proteção ba biodiversidade. Yes, slide sidane, this slide is like a strong connection, shows the strong connection between indigenous people and the conservation of global biodiversity. Okay, indigenous communities are like very, very important or vital to the environment, yeah, because because they manage vast lands and they are the one that key people that preserving biodiversity through their traditional knowledge and sustainable practices. Like for example, Timor-Leste nene, ita iha Tarabando. Agora rarau Ministerio de Environmento ne, agora rarau atu usa conceito Tarabando ne atu aplica para proteção biodiversidade mas. Okay? Okay? All right. Agora, benefício biodiversidade nessa ida. Biodiversity sustains human livelihood. Okay, yes, slide in this slide it shows the multi-phased benefits of biodiversity. Yeah, this slide is illustrating how ecosystem, species, and genetic diversity support human livelihood. Okay, now biodiversity. So from this we can say that biodiversity plays an essential role in maintaining the balance of ecosystem, providing resources, and helping humanity adapt to environmental changes. Okay, for example, the key benefits of the biodiversity is food or resilience agriculture. Yeah, agricultura nebe resiliente. Biodiversity supports diverse crops, ensuring that agriculture can withstand pests. Kata ito ni produkto agrikultura ne bele tahang husi be pest sila. Pest ne ketu niyo sila. Biasa biasa masosa be ay moro ba fakar ba buti na sa tanang lutan biasa mahalo moro be mating hasay be ular sila yung production agrikultura ne. Diseases, mora sila, and changing climate condition. Biodiversity also enhances the resilience of our food system. Protege ito niya be sistema hahang niya ne. So ola ko'y protege biodiversidade, ola hetang hahang de nebe saudável. Ola hetang sahang nebe saudável, one mori sila sauri. Dia kira. Dalam rumah emariku sira ne, sira lori osam bara be sira bele sosa saudi. Apalagi makiak sira. Ne kuitaru tadi. Ne tare momosa agora o compara be mori entre makiak que na sound bot sira. Kaya makia que na sound sira sin te timor ne o hari diferencia ne bot terlalu. Au hari fale hanya foto de uluk. Imisalnya mayoría Mauricio Satina. Saya main ini Maurice sebelum 2000, tahun 2000.
Umur 99, teacher.
99 berarti ukung ang ne o foi matina 2002 ne o foi matina tolo lo zaleh.
Okay.
Saya membay Maurice Maurice uluk email. Saya main 90-ang 90 91 92 93.
98 ba yan?
Por exemplo, 98. Agora, tu ini Hanoi se iminota. Por exemplo, how Maurice 94. Masalah, How iha tahun 2002 ito kung ane how tinang hira, how tinang walo. How tinang walo, how tama iha SMP, iha how tinang 13 years old, SMA about 16, 17. Ni ito timor foi mo kung ang iha 2002. Ni susah terlalu. Ita hetang akseso ba hamos. Hahansar nebe konsumi durante iha momento na bane. O hare, how hare farhan yung foto ni mal nutrisi makas ni. Tamit ni konsum sang hahang ni is like lain nutrisi ida. Momento na ba osan la iha. Agora, Timor começa a iha expand niya be ligação ba mundo ni setelah 2000 be 2006 ne. 2007 pas be sanana ni governo sai misal fakarosan barbara começa emamos halo uma dia osamos começa lawan ema bauna Bali ona bauna nebe importação ba ema tu osang iha tu sosa ona nebe importação ba be hahan sera dia nutrientes sermos tama ona nebe o harebe labari sira agora imi sira agora imi balu sira agora o bafa labar sira SMA da agora SMP ka SMA da agora compara ho labar sira SMP ho SMA da tinang tinang 5 tinang hitu liba perbedaan los iha ninia be sara consumption of hands on berbeda bakas los. Maybe biodiversity also supports like give you so biodiversity also gives benefits of giving higher nutrition. Okay, so a variety of plants, animals, and marine species provide a rich source of food, contributing to balanced nutrition and food security. Biodiversity must give benefits to sustainable sources of food. Okay, like biodiversity in ecosystem like forests, oceans, and rivers provide sustainable source of wild and cultivated food. Okay? Agora íamos benefício babe selain hahang biodiversity most for benefício ba culture and economic value. Okay, for example, biodiversity could give you like a cultural and identity. Biodiversity is like it's an integral to many culture, yeah, contributing to traditions, knowledge systems, and a sense of identity. Okay, so indigenous people in particular rely on biodiversity for both spiritual and material well-being, yeah. Ema balone sira teki hare protege serne environmento também siremos usa serne biodiversidade hanesang sentido cultural ide, identidade cultural ide basira. Okay, biodiversity must provide recreational and aesthetic value. Lozale? So ita ema prefere a estética nebe natural do que a estética nebe inventado. Yeah? It provides a recreational and aesthetic values. Yeah, biodiversity enhances the beauty of natural landscapes, providing recreation opportunities such as ecotourism, hiking, and wildlife observation. This is also boost local economies. Okay, biodiversity also benefits in health, traditional and modern medicine. Okay, many modern medicines are derived from plants and animals. Yeah. Medicina era moderna agora mas todo may si plantação ho animal sira. Okay? Ya uluk liba quando itani medicina moderna lai hani itani abo sira. Ujaret no medicina be agora timor mas jaruma se prática kare. Medicina tradisional ne. Barak mas se prática medicina tradisional. Los gala. Ya ekusi be emas se prática medicina tradisional gala.
Ya sih.
Se prática ka? Ya dililarang lain na kare. Ya dililarang lain na kare. Agora moras la bele bali fale be matandok, moras arebe ba hospital. Okay? Now, agora this graph had to do visual representation of global biodiversity hotspots, yeah, and the relationship between these areas and land managed or controlled by indigenous people. This illustrates the geographic overlap between high biodiversity regions and the lands that the indigenous people are occupying. Okay, yeah, left side of this region over here, this shows global biodiversity hotspots. Okay, so basically, what is biodiversity hotspots? So biodiversity hotspots are regions that have an exceptionally high number of endemic species. What is endemic species, you ask? Endemic species are species that are found nowhere else. Kata species nebe itulah hetang yang fatin siya. Sira makiha are sira ne detona. Okay, such as zabe. Sada? But also are also threatened by human activities such as deforestation, habitat destruction, and climate change. Hotspots highlighted in red, okay, includes areas like the Amazon rainforest, Sundaland in Southeast Asia, Sundaland, Mediterranean Basin, Madagascar, some of these examples. So these regions are critical for conservation of biodiversity, effort in conserving biodiversity, yeah, because this house a very large, the world's biodiversity, despite covering only a small percentage of Earth's land surface. Imi hare yane cover be. Tera ninya lan ini si iham yang mian ini cover ladung barak kita maybe idan ini importante tebes bagi iham biodiversidade betine planeta. Kasi hare fali ba Timor Leste. Timor Leste ni hola parte husi mabul nana Wallacea biodiversity hotspots. Somewhere over this region. We call this a Wallacea. Wallace biodiversity hotspot, okay? An area that supports unique species and ecosystem, but is under threat from deforestation and unsustainable practices, okay? Yeah, Fali, the right side, these are the lands that occupied by indigenous people, okay? Nebe, like like countries like Brazil, Canada, and the regions in Southeast Asia, especially the regions, show high levels of indigenous land management. Kata area sernene maneja husi ema nebe moris nini visa bo sira mayusi duni raida ne mate duni baraida ne. Nebe itani importante ne man the world's biodiversity hotspots are critical areas for conservation, but they are also under severe threat. Okay. Okay, so effective conservation strategies should help include partnership with indigenous community to protect this vital ecosystem and ensures the continuation of sustainable land management practices. All right, any questions so far? Okay, what is the direct pressure on global biodiversity? Okay, so there are 6 main pressures that contribute to the global biodiversity loss. Okay, so these factors directly impact ecosystems, species, and genetic diversity, accelerating the decline in biodiversity worldwide. For example, climate change, okay? The impact of global warming and changes in weather patterns affect habitats, food sources, and breeding cycles. As temperatures rise, many species face difficulty adapting quickly enough, leading to population declines and extinctions. Okay, for example, for example, coral bleaching due to rising ocean temperature. Okay, coral yatasiokos na ba ni hahu nakfera ho tuona tama temperatura manas masaya maka also disrupt marine ecosystem, particularly the biodiversity hotspots like in the coral triangle. Okay, the falimus habitat loss and degradation. The impact of the destruction of the natural habitats, primarily due to deforestation, agricultural expansion, and urbanization, is the leading driver of biodiversity loss. Okay, when species lose their natural environment, they often face extinction. For example, the Amazon rainforest, which is a very global, which is a global biodiversity hotspot, and it is rapidly being cleared for agriculture, resulting in loss of habitat for countless species, many species. Okay, for example, pollution. Okay, for example, the impact of pollution from industrial, agriculture, and household sources contaminates our air, our water, and our soil. This affects both the terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem, harming our wildlife through toxic exposure, suffocation, and habitat destruction. Example dia kita maka plastic sira, chemical pollutants, oceans and rivers that harms marine life, including birds, fish, and marine mammals. Okay, ida falimos invasive species. For example, the impact of non-native species introduced into the ecosystem often compete with native species for resources, leading to displacement or extinction. Example na sa lionfish in invasive species of Caribbean that preys on native fish, threatening coral reef. Tamba mo sa tambi taladung protege ito ni biodiversidade. Species ni be husi area seluk ni sir halo invasão ba fali area be species sida fali niya. No, species invasor sir ni kan sa butira karik sira maka sai naing hatu hanes mo sita ema hatu animal mo sanes sa ita ema hatu ida fali mo species over exploitation. Okay? Over harvesting of species through, like for example, from hunting, from fishing, and lodging depletes population faster than they can recover. Okay, this pressure is particularly evident in the marine ecosystem where overfishing has drastically reduced fish population. Example, agora daw makasli mo overfishing of tuna. Agora daw kim hare berita da rumah be. Fro ahe sira kusi Korea, Japan, Indonesia ka. Malaysia hoto mai hatasi timor para atu be. Kail hoti tini ikan tuna sira itani be taslaran sa naban. Okay. Also disease and other potential threats. Biodiversity lack of it can also spread of diseases. Okay, change of habitat destruction, creating no immunity to new pathogens. Okay, por ejemplo, sa tinambarak liuvanes citric fungus. Ikus naman is COVID. That's also coming from the bad habitats. Okay, concept to health. How do you insama kita ihabe relasyon entre humans, animals, and environment? Okay? Ida nene iha the World Health Organization sila the One Health concept. Ya concept to One Health ne emphasizing the interconnectedness between human, animal, and environmental health. Okay? Yan WHO the One Health approach recognize that the health of people is closely linked to the health of animals and the shared environment. Okay, for example, the zoonotic tuberculosis. Okay, for example, are infections that can be transmitted from animals to human. And this type zoonotic tuberculosis can be passed to people through direct contact with infected animals or consumption of contaminated food product. It can also be transmission. People can contract tuberculosis from hunting raw or improperly cooked meat from infected animals or through direct contact with infected livestock or wildlife. Okay, bovine tuberculosis. Example, the following of bovine tuberculosis is carousel in cattle. Bovine TB in cattle. Okay, bovine TB affects cattle and can spread to other animals and humans. Cattle often contract TB from contact with infected wildlife or through contaminated environments. All right. For example, the infected wildlife. Okay. Wildlife can be also a reservoir for like diseases of animal diseases, like tuberculosis can be transmitted to both domestic animals and humans. Okay. Environmental contamination plays a crucial role in spread of these animal diseases. Yeah. For example, contaminating your water sources, your soil, that can also facilitate the transmission of this disease across various species. All right. Okay, for example, COVID-19 animal, okay, for example, who's intensive wildlife farming siranesane, that idanemos for bora siran sa COVID-19, rabies, influenza. For example, si animal sira kuda, karau, fahi, manu sirne, Pohendra, Nipah, influenza, wildlife hunting mos bele, causa HIV, Ebola, SARS, nehusinene, animal sira nesa Niki, Manu, Busa, Laho, Samia. So, yeah. Okay, so this slide explains the biodiversity, people, and the ecosystem, that there is an interconnection between people, biodiversity, and ecosystem health. Okay, this emphasizing how human activity drives biodiversity loss and impact ecosystem services that are essential for human survival and well-being. Okay, so the causal factor and indirect drivers are, if you look at the top diagram, we see the causal factors that influence human interaction with the environment. These include population growth, consumption pattern, and resource use. Okay, the indirect drivers of biodiversity includes agricultural and forestry, fishing and hunting, urbanization and industry, water and energy use, direct pressure on biodiversity in ecosystem, habitat loss, alteration, and fragmentation. Yeah. Direct pressures, okay? Pollution, climate change. All right. Agora, state of the global biodiversity, agora raw ihaitan niya. Terrestrial ecosystem na mechanism, forests, grasslands, and other land-based habitats are under immense pressure from deforestation, agriculture, and urbanization. Hanesamos by the freshwater ecosystem, rivers, lakes, and wetlands are threatened by pollution, water extraction, and invasive species. Hanesamos by the marine ecosystem, oceans and coral reef face overfishing, pollution, and ocean acidification due to climate change. Okay, so if we look at this, all of this, we can say that ito niya causal factor ni mahilete ne bane ito ni direct direct causal factor, indirect direct factor manene niya pressão na bita foba iheta niya environmento na makidane causa ba iheta niya biodiversity makaida ihamiang nene. Okay, agora now ohita kolya ko naman direct pressure ya idane ohita kolya na, for example, yeah, climate change, habitat loss and degradation, pollution, invasive species, overexploitation, contribuimos ba disease o hinta kulya barbara. Agora idane mapa idane indica fali human footprint and ecoregion scale. Okay, this is a global map that visualizes the human footprint on different ecoregions across the world. The map shows the extent to which human activities have impacted natural ecosystem, ranging from areas that are like still intact to those that are heavily degraded. Okay, human ka imiharayan mapa na bane green. These areas are either improving or experiencing minimal human impact. Okay, name may green areas name. Okay, ecosystem in this region may still be functional relatively well with low levels of degradation. So imihare faliba iha yellow is slightly degraded. Yeah, these areas show moderate signs of human impact but have not yet reached severe degradation. Human activities like agriculture and urbanization may be present, but the natural environment is still somewhat intact. Itabay faliha orange. Okay, areas marked in orange have experienced significant degradation. Okay, maybe Timor-Leste mo tama parte orange na significant degradation due to human activities such as deforestation, industrial development, and land use, unsustainable land use, and such, and etc. Australia mani, America mahinabi, South Asia, India sila may region ini, South America, North America ne masama leta ne. This is Europe. Okay, pollution sila ne. For example, open waste dump site ne. This is like unmanaged waste disposal on land leads to land pollution and contamination of nearby ecosystems. This can impact. These dams will pollute the soil, create breeding grounds for disease vectors, and contribute water contaminations. Yan dili mi sihari bara kala na sana.
Bara share.
Ne turi mi na ano yung problema ida kala.
Sim, problema bot.
Agora hanesang imi arkitektura ida sa ida mi belahalo at to resolve problema ida ne. How do you guys think as an architect, what solution can you give from your profession? Kung si imi profesyon sa ida solution sa ida mi bele fornesa.
Amiting hadian drainage sernation.
Okay. What else? Cerita. Drainage. What else? Imiselok kalian sa? Juvelina, what about you? What do you think? As an architect, how do you contribute to resolve this problem? Huh? Mario, what about you? Okay, kau lewat Juvelina.
Vanessa razão, Vanessa o colega Indian, Vanessa ali.
Ya fali buat selok rumah.
Nothing.
O insaho iminya social. Emma. Social education. Ibi pernah gambar na, ibi pernah halo na student na kono ba drainage sila ka sudah. Ahora inte tänker lokatan civil and departamento de engenharia civil dan ba para to complementa arquitectura tal.
Ya, ne kapas ya para completa malum. Tama arsitekto tem sipil que sira sa feng line to. Dari sira presija iha conexão.
Yes. Soon.
We hope it happened to us, happened to our campus.
It will be, but not in your time. Probably 2 years from now or 3 years from now. Okay, overexploitation also threatens biodiversity. Ini aku lihat question. Okay, ito nene proportions of species in risk category. Species sir na be. Species sir na be ihat na be. Risco sir na maka iha lista na bane. Imi hari iha be letra EX ne had to do extinct. EW ne had to do extinct in the wild. CR ne diang critically endangered. EN ne diang be endangered. VU ne diang vulnerable. MT ne diang near threatened. LC ne diang least concern. DD ne diang data deficient. Okay, MT or PM ne diang migratory and partially migrated species. Okay, ini species sila, for example, na some birds, groupers, mammals. Sila tama yung kategorya sila nini legend na may correct naman. Alright, any questions? E perguntas rumah, kaya buat rumah may karak diskusi kung ba biodiversity? Questions?
No sure.
No, sure.